Hi everyone, welcome to Celestial, welcome to today's video. I'm so very excited to bring you this video. It has been highly requested. We've gotten so many inquiries about people wanting to know about the outer planets in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart. And today I'm starting with Uranus, or sometimes called Uranus, in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart, and what that means for your marriage, long-term commitment, and what your spouse or long-term partner will be like with this planet's influence. Now, in Vedic astrology, Uranus is known as Herschel, but for the sake of this video, I will just be using Uranus. I'm so excited to bring you this video because as far as I'm aware, I don't think there is any video on YouTube with the outer planets, so Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart, and what that means for your long-term commitment, marriage, or your spouse and long-term partner. So I'm very excited to bring this video to you at this time. Now, before we get into the Uranus part and the influence of that in your 7th house matters, let's quickly talk about what the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart means. So the D9 Navamsa chart, and I will make a separate video about this, but this is just some quick points. The Navamsa chart, or the D9 chart, is a chart that shows the height of fortune, and it is a chart that shows kind of what your karmas bloom into, the reality of your karmas, and what you are here to experience on a very deeply profound and soulful level. A lot of people say that the D9 Navamsa chart is the chart of marriage or the spouse, and that is quite accurate, but it can also just show you your fortune in general. A little tip for you is if you take your D9 Navamsa chart and you move it 180, so if you take your 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart and make that the ascendant and read the chart like that, it can give you great insights about what your long-term partner or your spouse's life is like, and kind of the qualities that you can expect this person to have before you even meet them. Now, you would need to have your accurate birth time to be able to accurately read your D9 Navamsa chart. If you don't have your accurate birth time, then I kind of advise against looking into this chart very deeply, because an accurate birth time is immensely important. And as usual, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be talking about the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart connected to a long-term partner or your spouse, even though it does represent other things as well. One more quick disclaimer before I get into the video. If you've been watching our other 7th house of the D9 Navamsa series, then you will already know this, but I just want to say this in all of our videos. If you're watching this video thinking that I'm going to go into the physical characteristics, especially in regard to skin color or certain features of the spouse or long-term partner, then I would like to just state that I will not be doing that in this video or in any video. I acknowledge and understand that certain communities or individuals may want to know things such as skin color or about certain features such as eye shape and so on, for their personal preference or for a plethora of different reasons. But I just want to be very transparent that you will not find those answers in this video or in any video by Celestial. And the reason behind that is that there are a lot of individuals in this world who very cruelly suffer and are subjected to abuse and torture and grief because of something that they have no control over, such as the color of their skin or the family that they're born into, the community that they're born into. And I don't want to peddle that pain and grief forward to other individuals by speaking about things such as what your spouse's or long-term partner's skin color will be like. I'm truthfully not very comfortable with that, and I don't wish to engage in that narrative or to peddle that information any further. Now that we have an understanding, let's proceed with what it means to have Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart. Now, this is quite an exciting placement to have, especially when it's connected to your 7th house matters in your D9 Navamsa chart, more specifically connected to your marriage or long-term commitment, your spouse or your long-term partner. Now, Uranus is a planet that represents rebellion. It represents things of eccentric nature. It represents upheaval. It can represent liberation, things that are unique, things that happen suddenly out of the blue. It represents the shock value behind things, and it can also represent raw genius as well. Uranus is a planet that is famously known as the awakener in astrology. It also represents innovation and creation that is colored with genius or extreme intelligence. So when you have a planet like Uranus sitting in your 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart, it very easily indicates that your long-term partner or your spouse is going to very strongly have all these qualities present in their personality. Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart gives you a spouse or a long-term partner that is usually very intelligent, that is charming, that can be eccentric, that tends to surprise people. Now, whether they surprise people in a good way or a bad way would depend very much on the sign that is in the 7th house, so the sign that Uranus is sitting in, aspects it receives, conjunctions, your Dara Karaka, and so on. Having Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart indicates that the individual that you commit to, and quite honestly, commit is a pretty funny or interesting word to use when it comes to Uranus, because Uranus energy is pretty non-committal. Not that they have a fear of commitment, that's not the case at all. It's more so that they don't like to have their freedom restricted, but I'll get to that a little bit later. Having this planet in your 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart indicates that the individual that you choose to commit to is usually going to be someone that surprises you, someone that you find very intriguing or interesting, and somebody who is most certainly an individual in the most intense sense possible. If this Uranus in your 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart has difficult aspects to it or is sitting with a difficult planet, it can indicate having more than one marriage or long-term commitment, more specifically marriage. It can indicate that you can rush into relationships very quickly and then you get bored and then you want out. Or this can also apply to your partner. Your partner can be somebody that has a history of relationships that they have rushed into and then left as well. So they can have a trail of broken relationships as well. In the most positive sense possible, it can indicate that when you find the person of your dreams or the person that you want to commit to or be in a long-term relationship with, a marriage with, you will meet them suddenly and you will instantly know that this is the person for you. So this is a very strong indicator that when you meet your long-term partner or your spouse, it will be like a love at first sight, electricity happening kind of a moment, and you will know instantly that this is your person. Your actual marriage or solidifying of your long-term commitment to this person can come as a surprise or shock to a lot of people, especially on a larger scale. So you can surprise your family, your near and dear ones, but you can also surprise other people, such as the masses, if there's other planets involved as well. Your marriage can happen very suddenly and very quickly. For example, if you have Saturn in the 7th house of your D1 Lagna chart, so your natal chart, but you have Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart, it can indicate that you spend a lot of your time alone. So you can go a long time without being in a relationship, or it can take you a very, very long time to find your spouse or long-term partner. But as soon as you find them, you will get hitched, you will get married, or have a long-term solidified relationship very quickly and very suddenly, and it's likely to surprise a lot of people, especially if you spent a long chunk of time alone. Now, if we rewind a little bit, people often assume that with Uranus in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart, it means a very early marriage or long-term relationship. And now I just want to say there's a difference between getting into a quick marriage or commitment and getting into a relationship or marriage very early on in your life. With Uranus, there's often a shock factor connected to not just your relationships in general. That's more so the 7th house of your D1 chart, so your Lagna chart. Your D9 chart, the person that you enter into a marriage with or a long-term commitment with, will be very sudden. And there will be something very strange or unique about this commitment and this individual. So oftentimes in certain communities or cultures where people are expected to get married very early on, maybe even in their late 20s or early 30s, this can point to somebody who kind of defies that norm or standard and ends up getting married in their 50s or so on. So Uranus in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart doesn't necessarily indicate that you will get married very early on. In fact, oftentimes these people will break these norms and get married at very interesting ages. This placement often indicates that you value friendship very much in your long-term committed partnerships. This indicates that you are very much looking for a friend, or rather a best friend, in your spouse or your long-term partner. You want a partner that is very supportive of your goals, dreams, and desires, and you also want this individual to have their own interests and goals, dreams, desires as well, and you would be equally as supportive. If there are other indications in the D9 Navamsa chart, it can indicate that you get a partner that is very humanitarian or very concerned with the well-being of humanity and others. This placement often indicates that your long-term partner or your spouse is going to be somebody that likely works a lot with nonprofits or charities or organizations that work towards the betterment of all living things, especially other people. You'll notice that your long-term partner or your spouse is going to be an individual that has immense energy. So this can be somebody that is capable of working very long hours. It almost seems like they never run out of energy and they never run out of ideas. There can be something very unique or interesting about your spouse or long-term partner. So for example, if you are a male and you have Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart, it can indicate that you end up with a female that is much taller than you. So there can be a height difference, for example, or your partner can look very different than you. Now, look-wise, this can of course mean features. This can indicate that your partner is very mesmerizing. They can have very striking features. They can look extremely beautiful in a very foreign or mixed way. This individual can be extremely tall or extremely short. It depends on your culture and your environment. If you're from a culture where things like tattoos or piercings are a little bit taboo, it can very much indicate that you end up with a partner that has tattoos or piercings, and other people can find this very shocking. Having Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart very strongly indicates that you will settle down with a partner that has a mind of their own and usually has an incredible mind that is full with a lot of ideas. They can be known as being somebody who is extremely intelligent or can have very strong intuition as well. Uranus is a planet that is very strongly connected to astrologers and very strongly connected to intuition. People often think it's Neptune, and yes, Neptune has its involvement, but Uranus intuition is more so visions. They come suddenly. So your partner can be somebody that suddenly knows something is going to happen, or they suddenly have a feeling about something, or when they meet somebody, or they have a sudden idea that could improve people. You'll notice this in their personality quite a lot. Your partner is likely going to be somebody that keeps you on your toes, and this is something that can actually pull you towards them. They won't be somebody that will follow your lead necessarily. They can be very supportive of you marching to the beat of your own drum, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to follow along with you or start marching in your band. Having Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart very strongly indicates that you will get a partner that does not like to be told what to do by anyone, and that includes you. This is likely going to be an individual that also doesn't believe in restricting other people, so it's unlikely that they will ever try to tell you what to do or try to tell others what to do. In fact, they can be quite respecting of other people's free will and opinions. And sometimes they can have what we call a flight risk tag to them, where if things get a little bit too serious or they feel like somebody is breathing down their neck too much, they will take off, as in they will bow out of the relationship or end the relationship and simply move on. Now, if there are more difficult aspects to your Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart, it can sometimes indicate getting into a relationship dynamic that is very on and off. Or it can in other ways indicate that your relationship, your long-term commitment, or your marriage is going to consist of spending a certain amount of time away from your spouse or your long-term partner, and this won't necessarily be something that either of you mind or take offense to. In fact, it could actually be something that both of you really enjoy. And by really enjoy, I mean having your alone time. It's going to be very, very important for your long-term relationship or marriage to be able to take time away from each other and explore your individual passions and interests as well. If there are more positive aspects, this relationship and your partner can bring a lot of fun into your life. So this can again be your very best friend. You can enjoy doing things with them. You can even enjoy learning from them. You can find them to be a great mentor, and they can really expand not only your outlook on life or other things, but they can really expand your actual network, which means meeting other people who have vastly different interests, or even your spouse, your long-term partner can help you align with people that can help you further your own goals and missions in life. Or if they don't help you meet other people, your spouse or your long-term partner can be an individual that either directly or indirectly helps you realize your own dreams, hopes, and wishes. So they can either directly give you advice, or you can even just be inspired by them, or something that they say one day could suddenly inspire you or give you an answer that you were seeking for something that you consider to be a cause close to your heart or one of your missions and goals. It's likely that you are going to end up with a partner that you never get tired of. So this can be somebody that you find to be so interesting and intriguing that you want to be around them all the time, or you want to get their opinion on things. They just seem very fun and exciting. They can feel like a breath of fresh air into your life, and they bring a lot of newness or renewal into your life as well. Having Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart very strongly indicates having a massive age difference between you and your partner. So yes, you heard that right. Age differences are not solely the doing of Saturn. It's actually more strongly connected to Uranus. And the age difference here is going to be quite shocking. So it won't be like a 3-year or a 5-year or even a 10-year, which is more so Saturnian domain. It can be something that is 15 years or 20 years and so on. So there's going to be immense shock and surprise connected to whatever difference you have with your partner, whether if that is age or height or culture or appearance and so on. Those who have Uranus in the 7th house of their D9 Navamsa chart usually speak very highly of their partner, and others can also speak very highly of the partner as well. These individuals often think that their partners are a genius or very innovative or very talented as well. Uranus is very strongly connected to talent. This placement also suggests that you want somebody that surprises you. You want an individual that is extremely and exceptionally intelligent. It's probably your top qualities that you look for. Somebody that can intrigue you, somebody that surprises you, somebody that you can grow with and learn from as well. Your partner can be somebody that is ahead of their time, so they can often know things or even predict things about life and other people that nobody sees coming, and then you'll see in a few months or a few years what they were thinking actually came true. Oftentimes you get a partner that doesn't really care for the opinion of others, or at least they don't let other people's feedback or criticism affect them or get them down. Your partner is likely to be somebody that really leads with their mind or intelligence, so they're not likely to take things very sensitively or to their heart. They can brush things off, and they are immensely focused when they care about something. You'll notice that after you meet this individual, they will somehow bring a lot of change and even upheaval into your life. There can be a lot of shocking events that happen. Oftentimes they can indicate a rise in your fortune after you meet this individual and after there is some sort of concrete commitment that happens. So this individual can actually be the key for you to achieve your goals, dreams, and visions, whatever they may be. Your partner is also going to be somebody that marches to the beat of their own drum, so they're not very concerned with what other people think or say about them. In fact, they can really pride themselves on their uniqueness, and they can also be somebody that is known for their intelligence, and they are very aware of this as well. Your partner is also likely somebody that will commit to the things that they want to commit to, whether that is a project, a goal, or even an individual. So for example, if they choose to commit to you, then no matter what anybody says, they will stick by you. They will not be swayed by the opinion of other people. They are very much an individual, and they have their own mind and own feelings, and they do what they want to do and what they think is right. And this can also go both ways. So for example, If you find somebody that has these themes and you really like them and you realize that this is the person for you, even if a lot of people are in your ears saying that you shouldn't be with this person or there will be this problem and etc., you will still stick by them and you will pick them. So there is immense courage found with this placement as well. And usually the relationship here requires you or your partner or both of you to tap into your inner courage to be together. Having Uranus in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa chart very strongly indicates that your spouse or your long-term partner acts as a catalyst, and they can bring a lot of universal truths to you as well. So if you've been on the wrong spiritual path or the wrong path in life, it's likely that this individual's entry into your life really shows you that in a very shocking or even jarring way, and they can help you connect to your actual spiritual dharma and what you're actually meant to do in this life. The entry of this person into your life and when your relationship solidifies and is more concrete, whether that's moving in together or marriage itself, can indicate that this person brings a lot of change into your life. So things that are no longer serving you and probably have not been serving you for a very long time can now leave and can suddenly leave overnight because of this person's influence, or this person can come into your life and really clear out a lot of old habits that you've been holding on to that no longer serve you. Your partner is likely to be somebody that is very innovative, unpredictable, resourceful, imaginative, experimental, and they can be immensely creative and again, incredibly intelligent as well. You can feel that your life has done a complete 180 after this individual enters your life or after you enter into a concrete commitment with them. You will notice that your partner is very fearless. They can have immense courage. They can be incredibly intelligent. They can be very caring as well. They genuinely have an interest in humanity and helping other people, and these can all be things that you hold very close to your heart and you can find immensely attractive about them. The entry of this person into your life can bring you a lot of breakthroughs or breakdowns, and it's ultimately for your highest good. Uranus is a planet that is connected to, quote, the outsider. So for example, if you belong to a certain societal or social circle, it's likely that your partner is going to be outside of that. So this is a planet, when it's connected to relationship matters, indicates somebody who marries somebody or enters into a serious commitment with somebody that has a status difference between them, again, age difference, appearance difference, and so on. It's likely that you will meet this person through the internet, through a friend, or even at an event connected to humanitarianism or helping other people. And with the times that we live in, it's also very likely that you can actually find your partner trending. So you can actually discover them if they're trending on social media somewhere, or you can hear other people talk about them and something that they've done as well that can really make you very interested. Your partner can be very good with technology, so they can be very good at coding, they can be very good at creating websites, and etc. This can be a talent of theirs that they probably taught themselves. So again, there's a high level of genius or intelligence involved and connected to the spouse or long-term partner. This can be an individual that's a part of a lot of different social causes and groups, so they can kind of fit in anywhere. They kind of have that chameleon quality to them, and they can be immensely friendly as well, so they can get along with people from all walks of life, and they're usually very non-judgmental. Your partner is going to be somebody that usually shakes things up wherever they go, and they can quite literally be revolutionaries. So they can end up being quite iconic or legendary, or they can be known for the things that they say and do that can surprise people, but people can often find them to be quite intelligent or ahead of their times. So they can also be known as old souls as well. Your partner can be somebody that is very innovative, somebody that is incredibly intelligent, perhaps unusual, rebellious. They can be very fond and connected to their independence. So again, this is not somebody that is going to like being told what to do, and they likely will not tell you what to do, and they need some breathing room. So it's likely that they will need to spend time by themselves, and I'm sure it's a quality that you will also appreciate as well. You'll find that being around this person can feel electrifying. They can make you feel alive. They can make you feel reborn, or again, it can feel like a breath of fresh air. You probably won't be able to keep your cool around this person, so you can find that you fumble your words, or you can even be a little bit intimidated by them and their intelligence, but you can also want to try to impress them. So this could be somebody that you genuinely want to win over, or you want them to think highly of you as well. It's almost like having the smartest person in the university compliment you about your intelligence or something that they think is cool that you did. It's kind of like that giddy feeling. You want their approval, you want them to speak highly of you, you want them to be impressed by you, you want them to like you, and that's something that will actually remain throughout your long-term commitment or your marriage. You'll notice that your partner is extremely talented, and not just on an intellectual level. They can have a lot of different talents that you can be immensely impressed by. And these talents can also be very surprising or shocking. So for example, your partner could be a math teacher, but then on the weekends they're actually a musician and they're an incredible singer, or they can play the piano and they can play the flute, and then they're a lifeguard and they're an athlete. There can be so many different interesting facets about your spouse or your long-term partner that you can almost continuously be impressed by them or in awe of them as well. You'll find that you continuously talk about them and talk about them very highly, so you can praise them often about how smart they are, how talented they are, how hardworking they are, how thoughtful they are, and so on. You can just be extremely giddy and excited about this person. You can almost feel like you won the lottery by winning this person or being with them, especially the spiritual lottery. If you have Uranus in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsa chart, and if I could say one line to pretty much sum up this experience, especially the experience that you'll have with your partner and the qualities of your partner and what they will bring into your life, I would say expect the unexpected. And with that being said, I will now close. This video is a little bit longer than the other planets through the 7th house of the D9 Navamsa series, and that's because I feel like not a lot of people talk about the outer planets in the Navamsa chart, especially connected to the spouse, so I wanted to say a little extra as well. Thank you for spending this little chunk of time with me. I hope if nothing else, this video offered you a different perspective. I hope you're keeping well, I hope you're keeping safe, and until next time.